Hey traders, Cousin Vinny coming to you from theclosingprint.com on May the 10th. Happy Mother's Day. This is going to be a down and dirty, quick review for obvious reasons. This is the S&P 500 on the monthly time frame. We'll note the breakout that we saw at this level here, late 2012, 2013, when we made it above the highs of 2007. We drew some Fibonacci levels off of the low here up to the high, and then again over here from the recent October low up to the high, and looking at a 382 retracement, which is down just above 2000. The 20 period moving average is down here around a 50% retracement. We don't see that kind of pullback given the major accumulation day on Thursday and followed by 5-to-1 on Friday. But we do think that we could see weakness early in the week only because dark pools appear to be shorting the highs on the gap up on Friday. The reason we say that is HFT alerts chart on Friday was talking about the accumulator. Note the S&P 500, the spiders were moving higher, gapped up on Friday, moved to highs, and then during that time frame we saw dark pools, these magenta and white lines here, moving lower as we were making new highs. So they were selling or shorting into those highs. So that's the main reason why we were thinking that we could see weakness early in the week. Now, if the S&P 500, the spiders, indices in general move lower, we could see them picking up shares as we drop. The other thing you have to keep in mind with regard to the S&P 500 on the monthly time frame is the MACD cross that we pointed out several weeks ago. We've been following this for months now, and we were anticipating we could see a cross as we saw here back in 07, early 08, where the indices dropped. Now, I'm not considering a move of this magnitude, but you have to consider the move over the last few years and where we are presently. Okay, so here's a chart of the SPY. Note the volume by price levels. We have a support level down here that we bounced off of on Wednesday. We have the 100 period smooth moving average right down here where prices came down and touched. On the Ichimoku time frame, Ichimoku charts, we also had support here that we pointed out that we bounced off of. Note how we're starting to thin out over here though. Which, if we see these Tenkan, the blue line, cross the red line, that would be a Tenkan Kijun cross and would be bearish. Note we haven't hit new highs. So from a bearish standpoint, if we don't make new highs and we see this continue to move lower, then we will reassess again, looking at this as a descending channel. Prices could break down through this thinner Kumo. So make a note of that. So slow stow is moving lower, did turn up on Wednesday, followed through Thursday and Friday. So we're watching these developments. Note the volume on Friday. Here's a chart of the SPY 60-minute. We could readjust this trend line so that it touches the tops here on Friday's gap up. We haven't taken out this new high. So in order for us to get bullish, we would have to take out this high here at a minimum and then take out this high as well. So if that were to occur, this trend line would start to move upward. Then we would look for a connection of this lower trend line in some sort of ascending wedge or ascending channel pattern for prices to move back down to at some point. So presently we have this high that we put in on the 4th, drop down, we have a lower low, pivot up here to these highs, which were lower highs, and we're looking at a situation where stow is overbought now and could turn, more than likely will, MACD, you see the momentum starting to trail off. This could turn back up from a bullish perspective, but if this continues to move higher and we have lower bars in the morning, we'll anticipate a move down at least to the support level around 210.60, 210.65 at some point. Okay, so now I've redrawn these fibs from this low pivot up to the high on Friday, and you can see the 382 is just down below this volume by price bar. There's nothing that says prices can't push right through this. This is a 60-minute time frame. But we do have the 30-period moving average here that we would look for support at as well. If prices move down through this level and doesn't bounce at the 382, the moving average, or the 50% Fibonacci's, we would look at that as a sign of further weakness ahead. If we bounce at 382 or higher, that would show that we have some strength and some legs and a possibility of a bounce short term. We just need to coordinate that with MACD and slow stow. 60 minutes already starting to move lower on the 5-1 time frame. We'll watch for 14-1 to follow through behind that. Here is the VIX. One of the other things we pointed out that lead us to believe that we're going to see more weakness. Note the VIX is down here in the red zone again, an area where we've seen previous tops. We were hoping to see VIX move into the green zone, give us a nice level around here, 2021, to trade off of, a durable low. That would have meant that the S&P 500, the chart here, Elder Impulse, that prices would have moved down lower, possibly tested this 2040 level. That could still occur, given that we haven't seen a spike in fear. The bulls seem to be very complacent and think that prices are just going to continue to move higher. So VIX presently is showing us that we could see possibly a test through this upper trend line, an overshoot, and then a move lower. That would push VIX down here around 12, and you can see where Stochk RSI is. So we could get a little bit more weak on VIX, so plan accordingly with your trading. VIX VXV, the 1 month to the 3 month volatility indexes. Note this is moving lower as well. It's in the red zone. It's in the area where we've seen previous areas of resistance back in late 2014. So we have this upper trend line, as we pointed out on the previous VIX chart. The put-call ratio, CPC, is telling us the same thing. We could see a little bit further weakness. Note the previous areas down here in the red zone where we saw tops. Note that the NYA, this is what the chart is displaying here, is a rounding top here above these previous highs. So unless we take out this new high, come up to the upper Bollinger Band, is very possible, and then get rejected at that level. If we take out this high here, then we would draw a trend line across and start to look for an ascending pattern to trade off of from a bullish perspective. But if from a bearish perspective, if we don't get up to this upper Bollinger Band, we don't take out these highs, then we could assume that the prices will trail off here, given CPC, and move back down into this Bollinger Band situation. Note that we're very narrow here, similar to what we saw at the top in December of last year. That doesn't mean that we're going to break down. We just look for these Bollinger Bands to expand and to see increased volatility. That'll just signal that we're going to have a pretty substantial move. Being it's May and we have seasonality going into the summer, I don't see a lot of catalysts for pushing us higher, but that could change very easily. Some of the caveats that the bears have to deal with is the NYA, New York Stock Exchange Composite Index. We noted yesterday that we saw a pop here to 12.5 or better, so 125% up volume. However, this chart on stock charts is now giving me a different reading on this bar chart. So we have to consider that this could be erroneous information that was posted yesterday. Just be aware of that. I was thinking that this could be a caveat for the bears, but we'll have to find out what the actual up-down volume was for Thursday, Friday, because this presently shows the spike that we saw on Friday, but Thursday showed a spike of 125%, which doesn't make any sense. Regardless, we did look at the possibility that that spike would be erroneous. only because we didn't see a major distribution day like we saw back here inside of this pattern, followed by a spike in accumulation. All we see now is accumulation that occurred on Friday. NYMO continues to show weakness. We did move a little bit higher. We're trading right around -10 on Friday, after spiking down to -60. Areas that we previously saw a reversal. Note NYA, which this is a chart of, the green area chart, that we're back up to just shy of highs, like we pointed out. But the most important thing here is NYSE, that we did have a cross last week. We're watching for this change in amplitude with the signal line, whether or not this is going to turn higher, or if we see intraday weakness on NYMO, that just means that this is going to push lower, and this change in amplitude will probably just correct itself and continue to move lower as well. So watch NYMO next week. If you have the TOS platform or way of reading NYMO intraday, keep an eye on NYMO. If it's -10 or above, that bodes well for the bulls, and if it's -10 or lower, that bodes well for the bears. Looking at the comp for a minute, you can see where we are, stuck in this range at this volume by price bar. This is correct. It just doesn't seem right for some reason. I don't trade the comp that often. I mostly trade the spiders, but I would have assumed that the NASDAQ would have been much higher in testing this upper Bollinger Band, considering the strength in SPY. So there is a caveat. Note the Index A50R, the number of stocks trading above 50, has turned up, but yet we do have a lower high presently, and that could turn back down as well. So there are some caveats here. Prices above the 10 EMA. MACD histogram is starting to print shorter bars headed toward the 0 line. And we have this large volume by price bar to deal with. So there are some caveats on the NASDAQ in general. It's really nice outside, so I decided to open the deck and go sit outside. This is the NAMO for the NASDAQ, McClellan oscillator. Note that it's moving higher as well. It closed at -10.26, as we see right here. Watch this intraday as well. Note the signal line is starting to change amplitude on the NASDAQ as well. Looking at the S&P 500, this is the New York Stock Exchange Advanced Decline. This is a 5-period moving average of that data. So the actual NYAD is invisible. We like to use a moving average to smooth out the indicator. Note where we are, again, at lower highs, at the high we saw back in February, with the indicator, the moving average, continuing to move higher. Now, we'll watch for a lower high like we've been seeing here. As prices move higher, we have a lower high, and NYAD, the 5MA, moves lower. If that breaks higher and above these levels, that could give us another sign that things are changing. Note copper is flagging out here above its 10 EMA. Bollinger Bands are starting to narrow. We have this upper level here, volume by price, as resistance, where we traded sideways late in the year, yes, in 2014, as potential overhead resistance. Slow stow is turning lower, and MACD is giving us a cross. So we could see copper get weak again. Let's take a look at our WTIC chart. Crude oil, it's holding up quite nicely. We have a spinning top last week. Prices are back above the 10-period EMA. If this continues to set up with slow stow getting down below 20 and turning, and MACD manages to stay pretty much flat like we saw back here, and have the potential for a move higher, I would think that this volume by price shelf here will hold, and the prices will again regain their momentum and move higher. So we are bullish on oil. We're just waiting for direction to change over the next couple of days. Here's UWTI. This is vehicle that Dr. Shine turned me on to. We've been trading during this base building in crude oil. Note that we have prices holding right around the 10 EMA. Bollinger Bands are tightening very nicely. We're above this very large volume by price shelf, and we think the price is going to continue to move higher. Note that we had buyers here at lows and push prices back above the 10 EMA. Slow Stow is nearly oversold. Wait a couple more days and we should have that for a trade going into the summer on UWTI. We pointed out on Friday the major sectors, plus we also chart IYR, IYT, and XBI because we've been trading these in stocks therein. 5 of 12 of these are in the overbought territory. Note the descending pattern here on IYR. IYT continues to move higher. It's right at the 50-period moving average, the red line. So prices could meander around in this area for a while and still get overbought. XBI moving towards the overbought territory again, right at the 20 and the 50. Note that the 20 is crossing over. I'd be very cautious on XBI and biotechs in general. Connect the highs here, and you note you're inside of that channel pattern. XLB overbought. Note the double top possibility here. Look for any signs of weakness using Slow Stow and MACD, as well as your 10 EMA and other moving averages. Just keep an eye on XLB. This one looked good last week. Had a nice bounce on Friday. Looking at XLK, the technology sector, of course, plays in the comp. And note the lower high here. Connect these highs here. Slow Stow, Stochastic RSI will watch right at the 50% level. And what happens this week? XLI, overbought. Note these highs here at 57. Probably test that. Note the 50 period is turning lower. The 20 period moving average is moving through the 50. Keep an eye on the industrials and stocks therein. XLF, looking pretty good. Testing these highs here. Overbought. Could turn lower. Conceivably could run up to the 25 level before losing momentum with Slow Stow, just Stochastic RSI just getting above 80 on Friday. So keep an eye on this double top and any banks that you might be trading. XLE, one of the weaker sectors, below the 20 period, but it has turned. Could see this move higher up to the 83, 84 level. We have this gap that we've trying to fill, and then the level up here at 87.50. XLP, shy of these recent highs. Connect these highs here. It's in a pattern, a triangle pattern. Note the Stochastic RSI is overbought. XLU, been weak for the most of the first quarter, and then moving sideways into the second quarter. Lower highs, Stochastic RSI is oversold, moving higher. This could come back up and test the 45.50 area. XLV, if you're bullish, you want to see this sector pick up some strength again. Note, Stochastic RSI is moving through 50, could hit the overbought territory fairly quickly. Connect these highs, and you have a descending triangle pattern, which is somewhat bearish. XLY, we have a lower high. Stochastic RSI is at 50, could turn up as well. So let's look at the industry groups therein, because looking at the sectors alone don't give you the full picture. Note that we mentioned on Friday we had a nice bounce on some of these industry groups. Just keep an eye on the industry group right up here as I scroll through these. Slow Stow oversold turning, MACD turning up, the business cycle index turning up, Slow Stow oversold, MACD turning. Aerospace and defense looking pretty interesting, holding these lows. Slow Stow turning from oversold and MACD above its signal line. Price above the 10 EMA, but we do have the 20 and the 50 above. So I'd like to see prices make it through that and start to change this pattern, which I'm not really crazy about at this point. Select medical equipment. Note the double wicks here on these candles. Slow Stow turning up. This could turn higher, 2050 above as well. Slow Stow and MACD turning. Select Pharmaceutical Index. Remember the XBI. We want to keep an eye on this sector as well as biotechs. Slow Stow MACD look pretty decent. Titan Index. Slow Stow turning up. Nice bounce on Friday. Note the Bollinger Bands and MACD turning as well. Basic Resources. Note that we have a nice flat pattern similar to the UWTI and the CLF oil stocks. Slow Stow moving lower, and MACD is below its signal line. This one's still above its signal line. So keep an eye on resources. Chemicals, probably looking the best. Nice little cup pattern, handle breaking above these recent highs. Slow Stow turning up. MACD above its signal line. So look inside of this. Just input this symbol into the Google search engine, and then after that type holdings or components, and you'll get some of the stocks that trade on this index. Then filter it for a 10E Stow MACD setup, and you could set yourself up for some nice longs. We'll look at those as well, but not in this video. Slow Stow looking good, turning up. Prices bouncing off the 50 period moving average above the 10. Tested the 20 period. Nice pattern building here, building the right side of a cup on the construction and materials index, which you would expect being the nicer months of the year. Keep an eye on permits, new permits, and home sales. Slow Stow and MACD both look good. Food and beverages, nice pop on Friday. Slow Stow MACD, same situation. Healthcare, remember this is a little bit weaker. A lower high, testing the 20 period. Slow Stow overbought turning, and MACD turning up as well. Insurance, remember Warren Buffett said that in the first quarter this is what did the best, along with railroads. So keep that in mind as well. Note we're overbought now, so this could conceivably turn back down inside of the Bollinger Bands. MACD turning, MACD cross. Media looking really weak here. If you're looking for shorts, this probably would be a candidate. Note that we dropped down below the 50 period moving average. Tested the 10 EMA last week as well as the 50, and then closed lower. Slow Stow is oversold, however, and MACD's turning. Telecommunications looking weak. Right at the 20 period, closed above the 10. Slow Stow turning, MACD as well. Utilities, again, very weak sector, XLU, but Slow Stow is turning. Maybe we get back up to this 114 level before being rejected. The pattern seems to be still overall down. Auto parts, US, nice pattern here. Probably one of the better looking sectors here as well. Testing highs, tight Bollinger Bands. Slow Stow turning back up, MACD cross. US Steel Index, another sector, looks like it's changing trend. It could be headed back up. My buddy JCOM trades AKS Steel a lot. Watch US Steel and Steel Dynamics, STLD as well. Stow at 50, MACD is above its signal line, price is above the 10 EMA, and we got this Kirby pocket here up to this level right here at 235. Personal home goods, bounce on Friday, ascending pattern, back above its 50 period moving average. Slow Stow MACD turning as well. Internet services, near highs, Bollinger Bands tight. Slow Stow turning, MACD as well. Financial services, new high, breakout. This one's been doing quite well, playing along with the insurance companies as well. Slow Stow turning, MACD cross. You're getting the general idea. Look at these sectors and find the hottest stocks in the group ranked with or filtered with 10E Stow MACD setup. Moving sideways on this sector, probably good to pass on this. Slow Stow turning, MACD. Oil and gas, remember this one, flat base breakout in April. Came back and tested that breakout level. Bollinger Bands tight, Slow Stow turning, MACD. I think this is just going to continue to build higher. People that were saying this is not going to get back up to highs of last June, I don't know. I just see a short covering rally into the summer and winter 2015, the second, third quarter at least, for higher prices. We've definitely got to change a trend. All the moving averages above the 50 period. 50 period was flat. Now it's starting to turn up. Just watch for that to continue. Personal and household goods attacking new highs, attacking recent highs. Slow still getting to overbought MACD cross. Retail index, sideways pattern pretty much going on 3 months now. Slow still moving higher MACD cross. Technology index, lower high, slow still oversold. Telecommunications, lower high, stuck right here at the 2050. Slow still turning. Travel and leisure, not making new highs. Slow still turning at oversold. MACD cross, price above the 10 EMA. Not my favorite pattern, but could test these recent highs. So check stocks in this group. Aluminum index similar to steel, but doesn't look as good. Looks like it's trying to change trend. Note the curvy pocket here. Prices above all the moving averages. Slow still could turn MACD as well. Large cap tech, the likes of Apple. Note the recent high. Slow still turning MACD cross. Computer services, lower high. Slow still turning here as well. I believe this is the last one. In petroleum index, a different look at the same sector. Flat base breakout, testing the highs, pull back to breakout. Change of trend, slow still turning MACD cross as well. So this could look pretty good going into the week, along with aerospace and financial services. Okay, so let's take a look at the IBD50. I haven't updated this group, so bear with me if I don't get this right. Let's take a look. ACT, trying to break out. Akamai, attacking new highs, slow still overbought. Acorn, looking very weak. Now it's down below this volume by price bands. Note that whenever the 10 EMA is below the 20 and the 50, we think short. So any move up into this area here, where slow still gets overbought, we would look for a short. Right now, we're just waiting for a setup. Alaska Air, if crude turns back up higher, this could affect the airlines coming back up to this upper trend line and recent highs. Note where slow still is, could get overbought very quickly. So if you're in this and bought it last week, I'd be taking partial profits on the way up. Umbrella moving sideways, 50-period moving average, slow still oversold. ABC sideways, slow still oversold and turning MACD as well. This could break to new highs. Note Bollinger Bands are very tight. Financial services again, testing the 50-period moving average. Note this very large volume by price band. Watch the 50-period moving average here and make sure that the 10 and the 20 don't turn down and start to look more bearish. Auto Home, we got out of this one, stopped last week. Done with that trade. That was on the kids' Coverdell ESA account along with EPAM. ABGO, rejected at the 50-period moving average overhead. This could continue to stay inside of this pattern. Slow still nearing overbought. Biogen, there was some talk about shares being offered. I don't know what that was all about, but the stock popped after hours on Thursday and into Friday. Note the 20-period moving average overhead. 10 is below the 20 and the 50, so this could be another short. Note the volume by price bars here. Don't get sucked into this trade. Connect the highs here. We could see rejection at that level. Trade it accordingly. CDK Global, this was new on the list end of April. Note this channel pattern we pointed out 2 Sundays ago. We're breaking above that level, continue to move higher. This looks like it's just going to continue on this new issue. Cambrix, note the moving averages are turning lower. Just keep an eye on this. If prices jump back above this level, we could see the moving averages turn as well. MACD and STO are turning back up. Cavium and the semiconductors, we were noting the 3 black crows here. This just moved when prices moved. 3 black crows, one after the other, 3 occurrences. Then we had 4, gap down. Now you can see very clearly the 10 EMA below the 20 and the 50, how this is starting to get rejected. This could be another short if it tries to test the 50 and the 20 and gets rejected again with slow still climbing, MACD turning. Celgene in sympathy with Biogen moving higher, but note the 50 period is rolling over here. I think we're in for a move lower on the indices. Don't get sucked into the hype and be one of the bulls that gets caught holding the bag. Just trade smaller positions and be light on your feet. Slow stow turning up, could get overbought, testing the 20 and the 50. Another stock showing the same pattern. Same with Cognex, 10 EMA. Note where prices are getting rejected as these moving averages move lower. Criteria, testing recent highs, could be a double top. Stow is overbought. MACD could turn. Prices are above the 10 EMA and the volume by price bar, so this could flag out and move higher. Just keep that in mind. Edwards Life Sciences, same here, 10 EMA below the 20 and the 50. Watch for Stow to get overbought, MACD as well, and prices get rejected up here at these previous levels. Note the big volume by price bars here, it could get rejected before it even gets there. EPAM, like we were saying, we got stopped out early in the week on this bar right here, and the kids' Coverdell account. We basically moved sideways and didn't make but about 25 to 50 cents on this stock. But the volume showed up on Thursday, and that was a confirmation that we did the right thing. Fleet car, weak as well. Look at the same things. You have the volume by price support level. This could jump back up, but 10 EMA is below the 20, and everything seems to be turning down. Just look for this pattern on any of the stocks you're thinking about trading, where the price is below the 10 EMA, the 10 EMA is below the 20 and the 50. That's telling you you could be seeing trouble in the near future. Note the volume by price bars here. There's no support until we get down here at this level that we saw back in late 2014. So be aware of that on any stocks you're trading. Nice big cup and handle pattern, possibly. Gentherm, slow stow turning back up, MACD. See, this looks completely different. The 10 EMA is above the 20 and the 50, so you'll note the difference. HAR did quite well last year, but it flagged out, moved sideways in a rectangle pattern, broke down. Now it's testing those levels overhead, and we have the 10 and the 20 and the 50 above price. Horizon, flagging out, price trying to stay near the 10 period EMA, but rejected. At the 20 period, note the gravestone doji, that's very ugly looking. Huge volume on Friday. This is probably going to be a short down to the 50 period. If it loses the 50, it's probably going lower. We're bearish on XPI presently. IPG Photonics, and a descending channel pattern. Prices right here above the 10 EMA, 2050 overhead. Stow overbought, MACD could turn back down. Jazz had a nice pop back here that we traded, but then it turned back down. Slow stow is oversold, MACD could turn up. Bollinger Bands are pretty wide. Not really crazy about that stock. Lynette, very weak. Note the volume by price support level down here. Huge volume on Thursday. This, if it gets back up to the 10 EMA, that looks like a short to me. LCI. LinkedIn, we all know what happened with that with earnings. I wouldn't consider trying to go long on this stock. It probably bounces back up, it hits the 10 EMA and then moves lower. Look for a better setup in the spring. MTSI looking okay. Prices back up the moving averages and the volume by price bar. Looking a little weak over the last couple of weeks. Looking okay now. Manhattan Associates managing to stay right near its 10 EMA. Spinning top on Friday, tested the 20, didn't get it. Just watch for a turn lower. Possibly, if it gets back above, then the EMA and moving averages should move higher as well. Methode, looking pretty good. Descending channel pattern we pointed out, broke above that. Narrow Bollinger Bands, volume by price level, slow stow. Moving higher, MACD cross. This could drift higher, but if the indices start to move lower, that could pull everything down. Molina Healthcare, nice gap up and move higher, above the 10, 20, 50. Monster, gap down on Friday. Not sure what that was related to, probably news and earnings, I don't know. Volume by price, so there's a lot of overhead supply now. Anytime this moves back up to the 50, you're going to have people trying to break even. They got in here. So this is probably going to drop lower. Look at slow stow and MACD. NOAA flagging out, looking pretty good here, above the 10 EMA. Slow stow turning, MACD cross. To the downside, just keep an eye on MACD. O'Reilly Automotive managing to stay up here by the 10 EMA. Slow stow turning up. Paycom, one of the better looking stocks, pointed out last week, no overhead supply, moving above this recent high. SCI, we noted this one continues to move higher, building a pattern. Looks like it's going to break out short term, slow turning, MACD cross. Skyworks looks pretty good going into the week as well. AOS, we have a position in this. We've mentioned over the last couple of weeks, continues to move higher. Move your stops under Friday's low now, and you'll keep all of these profits that you took off of the 50-period moving average bounce. Slow overbought. Sonic looking weak, 10 EMA below the 20 and the 50. Same scenario, volume by price resistance overhead. Slow overbought, could turn down. Spirit Aerosystems, remember aerospace and defense were one of the better looking sectors. This is breaking out here. Slow is overbought, MACD turning. Conceivably could continue to grind up, the Bollinger Bands expand, and this appreciate over the summer months. Synaptics, SYNA, meandering below the 20, looking kind of weak, buying by price resistance. Looks like it's going to drop. SNCR, Synchronos, we pointed this one out, did exactly the opposite of what we thought, broke right down through the 10 EMA, and now looks very bearish. Taiwan Semi, not going anywhere for the last few weeks. Actually hasn't gone anywhere since the end of February. Price is still in that same area. Ulta Salons moving sideways in a rectangle pattern. Just remember what happened with Monster. You don't want to get caught on this one. I would just call it quits. We've had a really nice run on Ulta. Traded this one all of 2014, so I would look at other setups personally. United Therapeutics, back above the 20-period moving average, slow overbought. If it doesn't make a new high, this probably could roll over and create a descending channel or wedge pattern. Universal Insurance flagging out here at highs. Still overbought, MACD turning as well. That's probably going to see some weakness. BRX continues to look okay. Western Alliance Bancorp, nice little pennant pattern here. It could break higher. Slow is winding up and could turn as well as MACD.
Okay, so this is Cousin Vinny coming to you from theclosingprint.com. For you new traders, be sure to check out these top 5 or 6 videos, which will give you a better edge on understanding the markets, taking setups, and where to position yourself for the highest risk reward on your trade. In addition, if you don't subscribe to the blog, this is a spam-free site. Enter your email address in here and you can get these delivered to your email every day. You'll note my tweets are here, the watch list for the week or the day. You can just scroll down through these, keeping track of the trades that we're looking at, whether they're high-tight flags or Bollinger Band setups. It's also a place for me to document the trades and thoughts going into the weeks. So I hope this helps. Take care. We'll talk to you on the stream on Monday.